We'll return to our discussion with the governor a little later in our show. But first, it remains to be seen how Arizona lawmakers will work across the aisle this year. The importance of bipartisanship is underscored by the gains Democrats made this past election. For insight into how it could affect this legislative session, Christopher Conover spoke to Democrat Steve Farley and Republican Chris Ackerley, two former state lawmakers who represented Southern Arizona.
Those of us sitting on the outside, we see the political fights. What's the reality on the inside? Is everybody very friendly to each other, or is it what we see on the outside?
Well, the legislature is a human institution, so it's just like you see anywhere else when you get a bunch of humans together with the stakes a little bit higher at times. I always prided myself in being able to reach across the aisle and have good relationships with people even who have just killed my bill, because you kind of have to have that attitude, especially as a Democrat, because you don't have the power up there.
Senator Farley is absolutely right. I mean, the way to affect change is to build the relationships with your representatives and your senators. And he's right. I mean, Senator Farley killed one of my bills. You know, we're still here. I'm not trying to strangle him. So, you know, it is a relationship business. And so people, and you get along, you know, it's working relationships. They get strained. It's politics, just like politics in any work environment.
This year, a lot of attention on the House, 31-29. Democrats are 1 seat short of a tie, 2 seats short of a majority. You were in the House most recently, Chris. Steve, you were in both chambers. Can this work?
That's a good question. That is a really good question, and there are some really interesting possibilities, and it's going to be fascinating to watch how the dynamic develops. There is always the possibility that Speaker Bowers will be able to herd cats and keep every 31 Republican on board on every bill, and you know, it'd be a Republican-only legislature, but I don't think that's going to happen. So the question I think is most relevant is bipartisan going to mean that the Republican majority in the governor's office works with a few Democrats to get some agenda items through, or will they be negotiating with the Democratic leadership and the entire caucus? And I don't think that's a question that's been answered yet.
And I think it's going to work very well for all everyday Arizonans, and especially for the people of Tucson, because you're not going to see these harsh ideological bills go through. In the House, only one flipped Republican will kill a bill. And there are enough moderates, maybe 4 or 5 moderate Republicans in the House Republican caucus, who will refuse to go along with some of the more controversial bills we've seen, such as Mark Fincham's attempt to not allow teachers to speak politically. I don't think that's going to get anywhere because there will be enough Republicans to kill it. But you've also got on the other side, on the far right in the House Republicans, something called the Liberty Caucus, which is going to be very far to the right, and they might bolt on a certain bill important to the Speaker if they give too much to the moderates. So it will be an interesting cat herding experiment.
And there's another aspect of this too. So when I served in the legislature, we had a pretty comfortable margin in the House on the Republican side, and so there wasn't really any need for Democratic votes on the vast majority of the bills. And so they're absolutely right when they say they get sort of cut out of the conversation. But part of that led to a dynamic where if there was a possibility that they could derail things, they were looking for that possibility to derail things. And they have been operating in that mode for so long. Is the Democratic caucus going to be able to curb that instinct to throw everything off the rails? Because now they're very close to being able to do that almost every time.
And I think we're going to have that work early because we've got the drought conservation plan coming through. And we're going to need to get that decided by January 31st. So this will be a huge test. Can all the caucuses work together and put something through that is vital for the future of water in Arizona?
And then going forward with that is when we start talking about the priorities of the session, education, infrastructure, whether or not or how we handle tax conformity, what we do with the surplus, whether it goes into the rainy day fund, whether it pays down some of the debt, what priorities does it fund? Can we pull back from that partisan, we're right, they're wrong sort of mentality that has existed for so long. I hear all the time about how healthcare and education are Democratic priorities and Republicans don't care about them. But having been in those back rooms, having actually, been dealing with negotiating those budgets with the Speaker's office and the President's office and the Governor's office, there's some push and shove there. And if the dynamic out front is still they're right, we're wrong, we're going to head for some very trying times.
Let's move this conversation forward 100 or so days. It's the end of the session. We're all sitting here. What's the surprise bill that passed?
Oh, I know one that's going to happen, and
Okay.
a lot of people are surprised. I was the first legislator in the country to introduce a bill to ban driving while texting in 2007. We still don't have it, but this year there's a huge bipartisan push, including positive signs from the governor's office, that we will have a full hands-free law in the state of Arizona at the end of this session.
I think one of the things that's probably coming up, and I don't know that it's much getting talking about, but if we see something start to happen, the gaming compacts are up relatively shortly. And if we see some early movement on that, that might be a surprise. And they might not wait until the very, very last minute to beat people over the heads with that.
But again, it may depend on how everything goes with the drought contingency plan. Thanks so much for sitting down with us.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
We should mention that Steve Farley is currently running for mayor of Tucson, as is Chris Ackerley's uncle, Ed Ackerley.